Hey guys, we're here back on Hustlers Podcast. Today we've got a special guest, Dylan, and we're going to be asking him what his life story is all about and basically what got him into the gym. And then we're going to be going over our school experiences and our job experiences as well. So to start it off, just tell us a bit about yourself and your story and everything.
So essentially, thanks for inviting me out onto the Hustlers podcast.
Yep.
My name is Dylan, but I go by Wags. I post fitness content, I post self-development content, and also spiritual content. But what got me into fitness? What started all of this? What created Wags? Essentially, it was a form of escapism. I wanted to work out to, get rid of the pain that I was experiencing.
Yeah.
Because I grew up in a household where there was verbal domestic violence. There was a lot of violence growing up, especially when it came to the verbal abuse.
Yeah.
So I was looking for some form of escapism.
Yeah.
And I was introduced to the gym at an early age, around 13, 14, by my dad.
Yeah.
We had a whole setup in our garage. He would teach me, the bench press, the deadlift, the squats, just the basics. And, I immediately fell in love with it.
Yeah.
And I had this deep passion for it. And I never had a passion like that for anything else. Okay. And, I kept working out, kept going to the gym. And I was waiting to be old enough to actually go into the proper gym because you had to be 16 and up to go into it.
Yeah.
And, the first time I went to the gym was at the leisure center in Pools.
Yeah.
You heard of that gym?
Yeah,
Got the sauna and shit in there, man.
I go there all the time for the sauna and stuff, bro.
Yeah, no, it's the best
Pretty
thing.
good.
Yeah, but I went there for the first time. And I immediately just fell in love with working out and just lifting the weights. Like, it created a different feeling within myself. It gave me this sense of euphoria, and I became addicted to it. And I would critique all my friends' forms. Like, I wanted to be like a personal trainer type of thing. But essentially, what got me into the gym, it was pain, and I found a passion in the gym. So that's just a rough, story about how I got into it. Yeah, and there was like a lot of heartbreaks along the way, especially when it came to women. I think like every gym bro watching this video,
everyone can relate.
Everyone can relate to it. Like you get caught simping.
Yeah.
Simping over, like for myself, I was simping over a girl for over like 2 years, bro. Like she broke my heart, like literally tore me down.
I've all had that, bro.
Yeah, I haven't told you about this shit, man.
Yeah?
But that shit destroyed me, and that made me go even harder into the gym.
Is that like your first love or
first love, bro? Yeah. And she led me on, and I was too nice to this chick. So I was pretty much your typical simp. I would compliment her and never get anything back. So I would always give. But I've moved on from this chick.
No, good.
It's been a lot of years. Yeah, but the thing is, right, I used that motivation and I got a 6-pack. But yeah.
Sounds like you won, bro.
Yeah, bro. I won that, bro.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I basically got into the gym kind of the same reason. Like, used it more as a self-development tool, as you were saying, and I just fell in love with the process. Fell in love with kind of just working myself, The gym gave me a big confidence that I never had before. I was, growing up, I was always like a quiet kid, got bullied and everything. And I was like yourself, just kind of kept to myself a lot. And that was definitely an outlet for me. And then I loved it. And I guess the addiction, and then you just continue,
It becomes a lifestyle, man.
Yeah. Been at it for 4 years training now. How long have you been training for?
So I've been on and off, since I was around 13, 14. But, I officially started last year, where I started taking my diet seriously, my workout protocols. But I've made a lot of progress within this year. And, I wish that I tracked my progress in terms of working out properly and tracking my calories. And like that is the most fundamental part to, I guess, training. There's
definitely.
Nutrition is the most important. Yeah.
And I didn't realize that until probably 2 years into lifting, where I started proper taking everything serious. I was like, man, I'm changing quick. You were really 70% and then 30% gym. I heard it was something like that. But no, that's awesome, bro. There's definitely, I can relate a lot to that. And now we're here filming content, trying to create some self-development stuff for you guys. And this is our passion. It's what we love to do, to inspire. Because growing up, we both came from a troubled childhood, and definitely found the gym and used a lot of these key concepts in the gym to use in life, and that's what I preach a lot. The gym isn't just to get physically bigger, you know. Like personally, for me, I use it more as a mental thing as well. And I guess a lot of people can probably relate to that. It helps them through that struggle and kind of an outlet of where, you know, kind of they can release their problems and stuff.
Yeah, I get like having an outlet is one of the most important things in life. Yeah. If you don't have an outlet, bro, you're just gonna build up and build up and build up. You know, like a soft, like a soda, bro. You shake that shit, you keep shaking it, shaking it, and shaking it. That thing is gonna pop off, and you know that's when eventually you start having your breakdowns. You go into that depression, you start having anxiety attacks. So you need some form, you know, of an outlet, and that can come through journaling, come through physical exercise, literally anything. Meditation is a really good one, but you know, as long as you're exerting yourself in some way, expression. You know, like if you suppress yourself, that will lead to depression. Suppression equals depression.
Becomes a lot worse.
Expression gets rid of depression. Yeah.
Quote of the day.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so I mean, let's get into a bit about our school experience.
Oh, school experience, yeah.
This is a good one. I haven't talked with you about this yet. So
I'd love to hear it, man.
Yeah, I mean, when did you graduate?
So I graduated in 2018.
2018,
so
yeah.
Around November 2018, yeah. So I graduated around then. We didn't really get to have a nice formal. Like we went to the Darling Harbour down in Sydney. A lot of my friends were there. We all looked, you know, really flashy. We all wore our suits and stuff. And we actually hired a hotel. And,
oh, wow.
Yeah, and we drank and we were all underage at the
Typical.
time. Yeah, and then one of my mates there, there was about seven of us there.
Yeah.
And we just fooled around the entire night.
Yeah.
One of our mates, like he was sleeping in the room and we just kept messing with him.
Yeah.
So we chucked coat hangers and shit at him. And then eventually one of my friends, right?
Yeah.
He got his blanket and just fully wet the blanket in the bath and chucked the blanket at him.
Oh.
Yeah. This guy, right? He comes out of the room like just angry, like staunch up.
Oh wow.
and he thought it was me.
Just woke up from a hangover and just wet blanket on him, bro.
Yeah. Everyone had a wild night.
Yeah, I mean, year 12, you only live once, I guess, eh?
Yeah, how about yourself? When did you graduate?
I didn't graduate. I dropped out.
Oh, you dropped out?
Yeah, I dropped out in year 12. I actually got a lot of hate for that. A lot of people were like, what are you doing? I only got, 5 months left before I graduate, but I knew what I wanted to do, bro. And I felt, what's the word? Like, I wasn't enjoying school one bit.
Yeah.
Like, the social aspect, I had all the boys and everyone, it was awesome. I just hated it. It just wasn't for me. And I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to do this. And I wanted to, I wanted to do personal training. I was very big on that. And then I dropped out probably about 2 months into year 12 and did a personal training course, studied my Cert 3 and 4. And I studied that for most of that year. And then COVID happened. So what they did is they kind of rescheduled it, and I was doing it at Marconi at the time, and then I switched to Liverpool. And then they're like, "Hey guys, we got a new person, we got a new course now." So they made everyone restart the course, and I've been studying it all year, and I was like, do I really want to waste another year doing it? And I probably should have done it, but I mean, I decided not to, and I'm still currently paying that off because I was in a contract. $4,500.
Jeez, $4,500.
Yeah, bro, they're not cheap, man.
I paid $2,000 for mine. And I get Cert 3 and the Cert 4.
Yeah. Where'd you go yours?
No, I'm still doing it currently. So, I started doing my Cert 3 in fitness at the start, like halfway through the start of this year. But beforehand, I was studying a lot of different courses at the time because I didn't know what to do. Fresh out of high school, you don't know what you want to do, especially if you haven't had an awakening and don't know, who you truly are. You don't know what you want to do, and you're expected to just jump straight into university. Go do a course that you're not meant to do, but you're forced to do it because it is the expectations of society. So you do it to please the Matrix, the fucking Matrix, bro. Work a 9 to 5, be zombified within the Matrix for the rest of your life. But anyways, that's a whole different story. You know what I'm saying? whole different story, man. We'll talk about that another time, bro. But straight out of high school, I did business, and I felt like a big calling for business. I'm really good at business, and I believe marketing was one of my strength points, and marketing and operations. So I'm very like petite on how I operate when it comes to certain things, especially when it comes to camera work, editing. Like it needs to be 100% perfect. Like it makes me anxious if I don't get it right the first time. I need everything to be perfect. I like things to be 100% quality. But anyways, after business, I dropped that within a year. Because of just the workload, and I had I had a spiritual awakening from that point on. And what I learned was that I don't want to sit here, do all of this work, wait 4 or 5 years, get a job I hate, and then wait another 3-4 years until I make the big bucks.
It's like everyone else, man.
Yeah, I wanted to do something that better suited me. So I started doing psychology. But not psychology. I started doing social science at Western Sydney University. So same thing happened. Went there for a year, didn't like it, dropped out. Waited another year, and then I started doing psychology at Wollongong, straight psychology. And I enjoyed that. Like I was really good at it. I got good marks. I did my best, but at the time I was in a bad relationship, and it caused me a lot of anxiety and depression. So
mental stress and stuff.
A lot of mental stress and tension. And I just couldn't focus on the work that I needed to do. So I ended up dropping that as well. And now that I'm out of the relationship, my mind began to clear. And now I'm at this stage where I know what I want to do. It's fitness, and I want to inspire. Those are the two things that I'm good with in life. And why not bring them together? You know what I'm saying? And create something that's long lasting and provides value to the people, around yourself, and to, you guys that are watching this video. And that is the most important thing to me.
No, that's what we're here doing today, bro.
Bro.
Keeping consistent with it. Man. Eventually it will pay off. But I mean, I always liked business as well. I did business in year 12 and 11. And 10, because you can pick like your kind of 10 to 11 subjects, and I loved it because I think it was the one subject that was worth learning how to make money and kind of running a business. Skills. I learned so much from that course, man. But I dropped out in year 12 and did a personal training course, and then I dropped out of that because of that situation. I just kind of job jumped for a year. Man, I had 10 jobs in a year last year.
Like it's just like in like laboring and stuff.
Laboring, working at supplement store for a bit, just kind of jumping around, seeing what I liked. And man, working for someone's not for me. I don't.
I hate when people tell me what to do, especially if they're not the boss. Like, like if they're another coworker. Like just, it gets on your nerves.
I know, man. And it became very frustrating. So I ended up taking up a job opportunity doing like roofing and stuff. And I was working for this guy. He was paying me good money. But eventually it was kind of like stuffing my pay around. And I was like, I already know what to do. I'm just going to try and apply this into my own business. So I decided to leave and start my own thing up. And then it started to go good. Obviously, starting a business is a lot you don't like know about, and then I had to get the business manager for advertising. And then at the time I had 2 of my friends that were just working for me as well. So the business was definitely at an all-time high. It was really good, getting a lot of business. We're making money, man. And then I guess with having just, first of all, if you're going to start a business, don't work with your friends. Because, man, I'm like, these are my best friends, but I'm trying to also be their boss. And, if they're having a sick day or something, it's not acceptable because I'm losing a lot of money, and then I have to reschedule the clients. And then some of the clients won't want to continue with me. And then it's like, there you go. I lost some money from that. Gets kind of frustrating over time. But yeah, I mean, I just really, it was very mentally stressful as well. And as, I was saying, I was in a toxic relationship as well, very mentally stressful, and I was depressed and kind of all over the place and trying to run a business. And it was very hard. So I decided to let them go and then kind of work for myself. And that's what I've been doing this year. And I definitely enjoyed it a lot. Kind of just, doing my own thing. because having people to manage is very hard. And I think becoming a businessman isn't really for me, other than like, creating content and doing something I pursue in, because that's what I find myself. I find myself like in school. I was a very smart kid growing up, and then I got to year 10, and I kind of put the gym and everything, the content creation, as my main priority, and I wasn't really studying hard in school and stuff. And I mean, that's probably not good, but I mean, I'm a person where if I really love something, then I'll try. And I didn't see a point in school, so I didn't really try in school. But like starting your own clothing company and the podcast like this, that's the, I got goals to start a clothing company next year, and I'll definitely nail it down because that's my passion, and that's what I want to do for my career, man. But yeah, I mean, let's get a bit about some stories from school.
Stories from
Were you
school.
a little shit or?
No, so I was a very reserved kid.
Yeah.
So as I am now, I guess you kind of know me now. Very reserved, but I was very shy back in the day. Like I don't know, there wasn't anything wrong with me. That's something that I realized. There was nothing wrong with me. I was just very shy, and I just couldn't talk or express, who I was, as a person, because I didn't know myself. And with a lot of the experiences I was experiencing growing up within my household, it made me feel that I wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
And what that does to you, it kind of like pulls you back, and it disallows you from experiencing who you truly are as a person. So I wasn't able to express myself, and that made me feel, left out. That made me feel alone, and that made me feel depressed. It all sounds like a sad sob story, but it's like that's what happened. Yeah, we live and we learn. But I still had some good times in high school. The peak of it came through year 11 and 12. So that's when I started, just saying, look, I don't want to be that guy anymore that was shy, that was reserved. I want to be someone new. I want to have fun with my friends. So we started to mess around. And it started off as very small, insignificant things.
Yeah.
So we had a whole group. So it was about 6 or 7 of us, and we were in most of the same classes as each other. So it just started as, destroying some boxes in a classroom.
Typical.
yeah, but no, it gets worse. And then it gradually progressed into leaving, ice creams, mandarins on door handles.
Oh, you were those?
Yeah. We were bad boys, man. Yes, and then eventually
you were the annoying kids.
but then it got worse.
Yeah.
We had another friend. He got a rotten egg, and he put it into one of the cupboards in one of the classrooms that it's locked.
Yeah.
And it stayed there for a good couple of weeks, and it stunk up the whole room for like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, wow.
No one used that classroom after that. And we did a lot of crazy stuff. There was another time where one of my friends, he brought an ice cream from the canteen, and there was a teacher that we didn't really like, but he was going through his own stuff. We've realized what we did was wrong and how we treated him, but it's just to look back, we didn't like him at the time because we didn't understand him as an individual. But like, he was kind of mean to us, but that was just who he was as a person. And one of my friends, he splattered the ice cream up on the door, right? And I remember there was this whole like argument between the deputy principals, the principals, that were trying to get us one by one and get us to confess who did it. But we always said, don't say a word.
Yeah.
Don't be a snitch. And after that, we just kept leaving stuff on the door. Every lesson, we would sit on the benches that were situated outside of the door, and we just watch him, right?
Yeah,
just
wow.
like look at it like this, and he'd be like, "This is not he said." And we'd often see him like get like the tea kettle, like boiling hot water, and just put it on his door just to get rid of
door.
Yeah, and this happened for a straight year. Like we would mentally torture the teachers. Like, we would mess with their minds, only to the ones that were really mean to us. Because like we were kids, and we were very intelligent kids. We weren't like those dumb kids that those dumb kids in class where they just do the most stupid things for attention.
Yeah.
We were the opposite of that. we messed with the teachers' minds. We played mind tricks. We were manipulative. But just a disclaimer, I'm no longer like that. Okay, no longer like that at all. But yeah, we did some pretty bad things. But do you want me to like go into depth about other things?
Yeah, man. Podcast. Why not?
Podcast. Yeah, there's just like so many memories, bro. There was a lot. Like we made a teacher quit.
Yeah,
we made a teacher quit. Okay,
let's do that.
So with this guy, right? He didn't like his job anyways, because the school was trying to take his job away. But we kind of did him a favor. So what we did, or what my friend did, okay,
my friend,
he made this concoction, right? Scrambled eggs and just other random foods that would eventually smell if you let it rot. Okay, so he mixed this concoction and he let this, I guess, brew for the next couple of days outside in the sun. Yeah. And it smelled really bad. And I think there was mayonnaise in there. And he brought it to school, and we all looked in his bag, and I was like, "What, dude? What is that?"
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And like, we have a video of him doing it. Okay, yeah, and it was the most funniest thing, right? We were up in the HSIE block, and this kid, right, he gets his spoon and just flicks it at the window, right? And it's just like everything. It's like a container this big, and I remember sitting there, and he walks there and he looks at it like this, and I think he like storms off like angry, and I think he like started tearing up.
The teacher,
yeah. Oh, wow. Like I actually felt really bad because that wasn't like stuff like I would go to. That's not the extent I would have done.
Much, man.
It was too far. Like this kid, like in our group, like he was the one that took it too far. Like the rest of the group, we were smart. We just stood back and watched, and eventually, like the next week, that teacher wanted to quit, and I was helping him move his stuff out of the classroom, right? And he was like a kind of support teacher. He would translate languages for certain students that were new to the school. So he specialized in Greek, I think, something like that. Right, and I was helping him move his stuff, these boxes to his car, and we were talking along way to the car, and I asked him, what's going on? Why are you moving your stuff out of the classroom? And he tells me, oh, I've just had enough. I need to get out of here. And I ask him, oh, why is that? And he's saying that the teachers don't really treat me that well here. Students don't respect me, and I just need to get out of here. And then I asked him, what are you going to do then? What are you going to do after this? And he told me that he got a new job at a private school. And mind you, this is like, he had a job at a high school that was like in the public region. So
was he a nice teacher? Or?
He was a beautiful teacher. Now that I look back, I respected him, but the other guys didn't. Yeah, but here's the thing, right? He got an even better job and he got better pay because he got hired to a private school. Yeah. So us inflicting, well, not so much myself, inflicting that damage to him bettered his life in some way. So that had to happen. That pushed his buttons to make that move. As messed up as that sounds.
He won.
Yeah, he won in the end. Yeah. That guy, he won in the end, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's like a crazy one. In depth. You know what I mean?
You're a little shit in school. I never did that stuff.
Yeah. What type of stuff like would you guys do? Yeah.
Oh, well, I had so I was a sporty kid, so I played soccer, and then I had my soccer group. Kind of grew out of soccer and played basketball, so I went into the basketball group. I'm still friends with soccer boys. And then I had all right, we're back. We had some technical difficulties, but where were we? Yeah, so school. So I had the same close friends, and I still have the same close friends today. It was about 7 of us, like yourself. Do your friends used to have those close friends, or
just one of them?
Okay,
the rest I've just cut off.
Yeah. See, mine kind of like changed, but I still got 3 or 4 from the same original group, which I'm very grateful for today. But we were just the classic boys, I guess. Just always talk in the class and just kind of mess around in the class and stuff, and in the playground as well. But yeah, I had a couple groups, and I had the main one. There was, I don't know, I didn't really mess with a lot of people in in my year. I was, again, a very reserved kid kind of thing.
Mm.
But everything changed when I started posting and I blew up.
When did you blow up? Like, what? How old were you?
Year 11, so it was like, man, I was 17.
17. Oh, okay.
19 now. I feel old.
Man, that's a long time ago.
17?
Yeah.
Or maybe it was 17.
Mm.
I just blew up on like tips and advice videos.
Yeah.
And it was so like surreal. I was like, what is happening? And kind of everyone realized that. And back in the day, my name was Cam Fit. That's what I kind of named myself. Yeah. So I became like the school meme. Oh. And I was like the most famous in the school. I walk in, everyone's like, oh, hey, Cam Fit. And I was like, it kind of got annoying at one point because some people would just kind of take the piss. But yeah, I mean, and then everybody, like all these people that bullied me my year and stuff from back in the day were like, oh, hey, bro, how you going? Bro, I hate you. Like, you know, it was really weird.
Just coming back because they see something about you.
Yeah. And because content creation isn't very popular, especially in Australia. And I was the first kind of person in that school to, I guess, show everyone that you can do something else. And I did that, and I got a bit of, you know, clout and stuff. And as with that, people treat you differently, bro. It's something we definitely got to be careful of when we grow up. That's why it's very important to keep a small, close circle. And then that happened, and I remember I would always come late to school because I was living out with my mum, which is towards the country. So man, I had to catch the country trains in the morning. Wow. Had to leave at like 5 o'clock and got to school at 8. It was like a 3-hour train ride, so I always just slept on the train. It was always late as well. Yeah, so I always come to school late, and they already know. Plus, I hated school, so this is my year 11, 12, where I just really wanted to leave. And I was going to leave in year 11, but I decided to stay. I ended up leaving 2 months later anyways. But yeah, and I walked in, and we're having a grade meeting. You remember those in the morning?
Oh, yeah.
Did you have
those? We used to have them all the time.
Yeah. And then I walk in, everyone looks at me, and everyone just starts clapping. It's like, Cam Fit, and just start chanting the whole year group. And I was like, nah, it feels so weird. And it was like I was a celebrity, and I never knew how to take it, so I just kind of laugh, because I was a very quiet kid, bro, and I was always a quiet kid probably until this year, very reserved, and I still am, but I didn't have as much confidence, and I'm not as outgoing as I am now, and that was from my last breakup. I used that as a self-development tool, and went out to the clubs and went out to different places, and I met some new people that kind of helped me become a bit more outgoing and stuff, and I'm grateful for that. But yeah, so that happened, and I didn't know what to do other than just kind of laugh. And
just laugh it off.
Thank you guys.
It must be so awkward, eh?
It was so awkward. And that happened, and then I was like the school meme, bro. Everyone I could probably talk to would remember that. But other than that, I mean, I had my close friends. I'd kind of just bounce around in the groups, but I knew who my close friends were. But I was a basketball guy, and I still kind of am. But I quit at the start of the year because I really wanted to pursue in basketball, but I didn't end up making it. So I've always been bodybuilding, and this year I took it really serious. But yeah, so at lunch we'd always go up to the Oval, and because I went to a private school, so I'm wearing like long pants and a tie and a tuck-in shirt with a belt, and we go up to the courts and then play basketball with the boys. It was sick. We had about like 20 of us, and we all just did like a 5v5 full court kind of switch, and it was very competitive, bro. If you ever played school sports at lunchtime,
private school boys, man, testosterone's pumping through you boys. It was
so bad. It was like so competitive. People just wanted to punch on, and
there was no girls.
Chill, man.
Was it all boys school?
None. It was I probably won't disclose the location.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But it wasn't bougie, you know. I've grown up in struggle and everything. I can't go to one of those bougie schools. It's never like that. I mean, it was like a public private school, but it was still classed as a private school. But yeah, I mean, we used to do those, and then I'd come into class sweaty and just, you know,
it's the most uncomfortable.
Let's start. It was so bad. And yeah, but no, I mean, other than just kind of mucking around with the boys, we didn't get into that much trouble with the principal and all that stuff. You know, we used to just play handball and all the kind of typical things. And then when we got into the year 11, 12, we would just all sit on the table and just talk. And then just all kind of make jokes. And, you know, you always have that one kid in your group you kind of just bully, make fun jokes of and stuff.
The group donkey.
Yeah, so we would do that. And yeah, I mean, it was a great time. The whole social aspect, I loved it. But I knew who my real friends were once I had that big blow up. It was a very different experience. So I'm glad now that I kind of went through that awkward experience. So now, eventually, if I do get to that point, then hopefully people won't stop treating me differently. But I keep my life pretty private. I don't talk to anyone, not a lot of people, bro. Like, I don't know how people, like, I say this all the time on like Snapchat, and you know how people just double tap and just kind of like double tap and send it to like 40 people. Just snap.
Attention seeking, and they want the Snapchat score higher.
Bro, I can't do that. Reload, no reload, like whatever. I'm not like that. Because it's a distraction. And how am I supposed to talk to 40 people once while I'm working, while I'm going to the gym, while I'm doing content creation? I've got to do this and that. And it's like, I have time for you, bro. So
you literally have no time to speak to anyone.
Yeah. So I keep my my life simple. You know, I got my close friends and you know, very small life, and then my family and everything. So it's very I don't like to talk to a lot of people. And that's not because I'm an antisocial guy. It's because I'm trying to make it, bro. And I don't have time to just double tap sending, you know, snaps every second. It's like, I don't see the point in that. But I mean, everyone's different, I guess.
It's exactly the same as me. Like, I try to keep my life as constricted as possible. You know, I don't go out. I don't go blow out all my money on partying and buying drugs and drinking alcohol. I keep, you know, my circle very small. I literally only have a few friends, just under 5 people that I talk to.
And I think it's better that way, bro.
It is better that way because you have less distraction and you're wasting less energy. You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, I mean, we sound like the least non-coolest kids at the moment, but this is what you got to do to achieve your goals, man.
You guys just wait.
Just wait. But no, that was kind of growing up. Never really as bad as you guys. But I mean, everyone knew we were little shits who just kind of just muck around all the time. I can't really remember too much.
Just like general banter.
Yeah. And we always had this one class, math class, bro. All the boys are in the same class.
That sounds like a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, we would just talk, and then he'd move us. Cameron, you're on the right. And I was like, oh, what's up? And I got another friend there and moved to the left. And then I got one of the other boys. There was all 10 of us in the classroom. So eventually, I talked too much and then got moved right in front of the desk on the teacher. So the teacher's right here. I can't talk to anyone. I'm on the table by myself. So I started talking to the teacher. And man, he was such a nice guy. He was he just came from England. He transferred from school in England. So he was really like kind of strict, but he was a cool guy, and he was a businessman as well. So he taught me a lot about, like, he had like 3 businesses, bro.
Oh, wow.
He was still doing teaching just because he loved it. And yeah, I mean, I think that's important to do stuff you love, not just for the money. And I mean, money definitely does help, but if you are working a job that you love, then you know, it doesn't really feel like you're working. So no, school was definitely a good time, but I've learned and matured so much more, bro. Like, I look back at it now, I was like, yeah, I was pretty immature. Like, I wasn't bad, but just all the little jokes and stuff, you know, here and there. But I'm really got a purpose, and that's what I've found, and I'm really trying to work towards it, bro. But yeah, I mean, let's get into job experiences. Yeah, I mean, I talked a little bit about this before. Had like 10 jobs last year, kind of job jumping everywhere, because I wasn't really enjoying stuff. But I think my favorite job I've ever had was working at a supplement store.
So your first job?
Oh, that was like my third, bro. Because I worked at Rebel before that, and then I was doing bricklaying. Man, have you done bricklaying?
I don't want to imagine, man.
It was horrible. I had like the shout out to all my bricklayers if you are watching, but I had like a a little tray thing, and I'd kind of lift like 10 bricks up at
Oh
once.
yeah.
And then I'd like put them all to one pile, and then grab the thing, and then I have the cement, bang bang, and then all day it was horrible, and I had cuts and bruises.
Get massive forearms though.
Yeah, I mean, I never work out my forearms now, which I probably should, but I mean, I did probably say I grow some good forearms from there. But I did bricklaying, hated it, and then went to Rebel. I enjoyed Rebel. I was working in the shoe department, and it was pretty cool, man. That I think, like, working in a social job really helps you develop connections with people and try and talk to people. And man, like as I was saying, I was a very quiet kid. And when I worked in the shoe department, I was kind of forced to, someone would come over, hey, do you need any help with the shoes or something like that? And then I'd go to the back and I'd be talking to them the whole time, trying to convince them to buy the shoes. And I think that job was good, but I did move back with my dad. So I had to leave that job, and then I worked like locally here in with the supplement store. And I loved that, man.
Yeah.
Have you worked in a supplement store
No,
before?
I never worked in a supplement store.
Yeah, man. I would 3 days a week. It was like 9 to 7. It was pretty long hours, but I just sit in a chair here, have the TV, and it was just myself in the store. It was a fairly small store, and I learned a lot about nutrition and macros and all of this, and the stuff I learned today was mostly from there, learning about product information like pre-workout beta-alanine and all that kind of thing, because I would have to sell that to the consumer. And I had this desk here, and bro, I just watch YouTube all day. Watch YouTube, and then I was trying to do a bit of personal training on the side of stuff as well. So I'd kind of typing programs and watching YouTube videos, because I was very heavy into bodybuilding, trying to make it, because I was competing at that time. I was watching posing routine, and the one that really stuck out with me is C-Bum's posing routine.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever watched that?
Yeah, I watched it.
Man, I selected that music when I was going to compete, and I made a little posing routine to it. I felt so like, it's like art, bro. It's like, I don't know how to explain it, but it felt magical.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. And then that was definitely, I'd say, one of my happiest times in life, because I'd be working the 3 days a week. And that's the point where I really started to find myself and started to go out and go to these different gyms on like a Tuesday and a Thursday, because I work Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Me and my friend would go into the city and just record, and kind of like we're doing now, and go to different gyms and such, and all this different experience. And I mean, it was a great time, but I was broke. We're gonna supplement store and then going out on Tuesday and a Thursday, and then I was never a clubbing dude though. Never been one, not really like that. I only went recently, bro. I only went to my first club like on my 19th birthday. Oh wow, which is September. So yeah, I mean, I've never really been a big clubbing guy. I don't know. I feel like when I go out clubbing, I'm kind of letting myself down.
I feel the exact same way.
Like, and I think people look at me like, I'm like, we're just having a bit of fun, but I feel like I'm letting myself go.
You feel guilty when you say, like, what am I doing here?
Yeah, because I've worked all week, diet, training, and I'll go out on the Saturday and get smashed, and then feel like shit on the Sunday. And then on the Monday, have like post-clubbing depression all week and wanting to go out again. I kind of got stuck in that cycle a little bit, and then I broke out of it. But nah, kind of gone off topic again.
Work experience.
Work experience. So after the supplement store, where did I go? I was just doing labouring.
Just labouring stuff.
Because I think I wanted more money. I think I was on like $19 an hour or something. I wanted more money, and my financial situation at that time, I had to move out, and like I had to work full time, bro. And that's where I got my own place in the city. So I decided to do carpentry apprenticeship, and I hated it as well. That was bad. So then I worked there for about 2 weeks, left there, and then I became just a general labourer. It was like $40 an hour. It was pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But man, my back, I've bad back problems, because when I played basketball, I was trying to dunk, and I went up to try and dunk. Some guy just pushed me at the back, and I did like a little back flip, landed straight on my back here. So I have bad back problems, and I tore my ligament on my left back. So that whole year, 2 years ago, was just recovery. And I used to go to the physio, and they used to do the little, massages and getting me to do stuff. And it's always like, that's why I don't like to go too hard on back. I don't do deadlifts anymore. I don't do barbell rows. I just stick to my accessories. I think, honestly, that's the best way to grow. Just smashing out accessories. I mean, a compound movement here and there is good, but I'm much more of an accessory guy.
It's less taxing on your body.
Yeah, too. And like with dumbbells and stuff, it's all free weight. You have to be really strict with your movement, or else you hurt yourself, bro.
True, yeah.
But yeah, I did the general laboring, and I was basically just like a slave for this company, bro. Just make me do anything, like bricklaying, and then house rendering, and just all different stuff. But it was good money, and then I got my own place in the city. And then from that, I went to an electrician. I was like, I can't be this forever. But all the time I was still grinding in the background, trying to grind the whole content creation thing. But I mean, when you're not doing it full time, you still need your first career. And I became an electrician for a couple of days, and then realized it's not for me.
Yeah.
Because you have to go to uni, not uni, but TAFE. Apparently it's very hard.
Takes some time too,
Yeah, 4 years. I was like, this will be good for the future, but I don't want to work on $15 for 4 years.
It's just not worth it.
And I think I just couldn't do it, bro, because I couldn't live with my mum or my dad, because I basically got kicked out of my mum's house. That's another situation we'll go over later. And then I've never had a good relationship with my dad, and then he would always leave. So I was basically living on myself. How am I supposed to survive on myself for $15 a week? So I would have to work a job that paid a bit more. Didn't like that, and then my nan helped me into the whole roofing, and then that's when I got into that whole thing. And then like I said before, the job, the guy kind of fucked my pay up a bit, and I started my own thing. So yeah, here we are today.
That's good, man.
So yeah, I mean, I job jumped a lot. It's really hard to find something you genuinely enjoy, and I know what I genuinely enjoy. It's this, bro. I really don't want to become a 9-to-5 slave. Like, I don't know, thinking about that life just makes me so depressed.
Well, it's good that you've identified what you like and what you don't like. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, like just going to the uni for 4 or 5 years and then doing the job you probably don't like for the rest of your life. And then like, I just want to be financially free, travel the world while creating content. Like, imagine just waking up, I'm going to Japan today, and we're going to film a vlog, and then you're making money on the way while you're at Japan. Like, that sounds like such a good life to me, and that's what I really, really want. And trying to make a change in people's lives as well, because I know what it feels like to be there, bro. And I want to help people realize that there is another way. That, just use all these problems as motivation, and then you can really further and better your life and become a better individual. And I mean, that's it for me.
Yeah.
What about you and your work experience?
So initially, I started looking for work around when I was 15. So when you're 15, you're not really looking for, the hardcore jobs. You're looking for like fast food.
Yeah, I worked in KFC as well.
Yeah.
2 years.
2 years, yeah. But, I was leaving this is a pinnacle moment of my life. So I was leaving applications absolutely everywhere. McDonald's, KFC, Hungry Jack's, and, other places like Coles and Woolworths. Not one person reached back to me. And I sent out about 20, 30 applications, my resume to all of these places.
It's so hard to get a job as a school on the part-time. I was in the same boat, man. Struggling to find work. It's very hard.
Yeah, and then you see all your friends have jobs, and you're thinking to yourself, what makes me different from them? It's like, is there something wrong? But here's the pinnacle part of the story. It created a lot of anguish within myself, a lot of anger towards people that I guess have some form of power.
See, that's
this is the arc rising of WEGs. WEGZ.
It's the key moment.
This is the key moment of my changing point.
Yeah.
And I started to think to myself and realize that I didn't want to be controlled. I didn't want to like live and operate based on someone else's say.
Yeah.
And I guess that sadness that was inflicted by getting rejected, the rejection made me feel like I needed to do something about my life and I needed to take control, but I didn't know how to do it. But that always stuck in my mind that I wanted to break out of, the mold of like the matrix. And I was awakened back then as I am now. And, I kept going from job to job.
Yeah.
My first proper job was McDonald's. I worked there for a bit.
How bad is it?
Yeah, it's really bad because, the managers, right?
Yeah.
They're kids too. And what happens when you have an environment full of kids? It's toxic.
How weird does it feel to be a kid and having to be told by just a kid a year or two older than you? Like, yeah, I mean, did you work as a at the front or were you like cooking?
I was cooking and I got treated like shit.
Yeah,
man. These people ignored me. They didn't talk to me. It was pretty bad. You know what I mean?
Mac is gonna sue us.
Yeah. No, there's nothing wrong with Mac because it was just the workplace. It was very toxic. But it was great pay. Food was still good because I got discounts and stuff like that. But I ended up leaving there. But I actually did work with my friend. The only reason I got that job was because of my friend, the guy who's really good with the cameras.
Yeah.
Stuff. Yeah. But then I went to my next job, and funny thing, here it is. My brother got me this job. I started working at this place. It's like a chocolate bar. I'm not going to disclose the name of the place just for privacy purposes. So I started working there, and I was just really grateful that I was able to get a job because I remember sitting in my garage, just like crying and crying and crying. Like I was like 18 years old. I was broke. I was just out of high school and I had nothing.
It feels so shit.
Yeah, like you're at the lowest point in your life. I remember crying, bro, and I was praying, and I prayed so hard, right? And then the next week, my brother offers me a job, right, to start working, and it was just like a general team member. So it's like a chocolate bar. You make desserts, make hot chocolates, do the dishes and shit. So I did that for 2 years, and during those 2 years, it was very toxic. It made me really depressed being in that environment because I would work there for long periods. Like 5 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours. There'd be long shifts, bro, and I worked multiple times a week. And it just made me depressed because it was the same repetitive stuff over and over again. And I would ask myself, what am I achieving from going to this place? It isn't bringing me any long-term value other than bringing me down and making me depressed. What can I gain from working here? So I felt trapped and I felt like I couldn't break out of this mold, and that made me even more depressed.
It's very hard because it's very hard to get another job.
Yeah.
But as bad as it is, you have to stay there for the money, bro.
And you have to keep doing it and working the jobs that you don't like. And now I'm at the point where I've worked and I've worked and I've worked, and I have all of this experience, and any job I apply to, I get an interview straight away. And right now I'm working 2 jobs. I'm working at a gym and I'm working as a disability support worker. And, I work both of those jobs weekly. So I work around 6 to 8 times a week. And I record content and I go to the gym and I eat my food. So I try to live my life as religiously as possible. But just to talk about some of the work, support work. Essentially, I work with individuals that have disabilities. And, the disabilities range from low all the way down to extreme. I work with the low to medium range. I don't like going too far because I can't handle it.
Very stressful.
Yeah, it's very stressful to be able to handle it, like, and have them in your responsibility, because you can get in a lot of trouble if something unfortunate happens to them. But essentially what I do, I come in with my client and we go out and do something that's fun. So the company I work at, it's a social service.
Okay.
So essentially what we do, we provide a service, to get them out of the house, do something fun, like an activity. You could be going to the movies, water park, whatever, bro. And sometimes they just want to stay at home, play games. And, I'm cool with that. And, that's pretty much what I do as a support worker.
Yeah.
And at the gym, it's a general gym job, receptionist. That's what I do.
Yeah. And, when did you apply for that? Because I remember they had applications like towards the start of the year or something. Did you apply then?
No. So what happened was, the same friend that got me the job at McDonald's.
He got me this clutch, bro.
Yeah, he put a good word in for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this guy he's one of my best friends.
Yeah.
This guy, I came up with this guy, and I've known him for almost a decade now.
Okay.
And he's been through me thick and thin. But yeah, he's helped change my life, and he's helped to better the course of where I currently am and who I am as a person now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You always need a friend like that to uplift you and stuff,
Yeah, man.
But it is very hard to have a close friend that isn't very like you. Like they don't kind of have the same goals and stuff, Because I don't know, but I have my close friends, but like I was saying, nobody really wants to do what I want to do. So I kind of have a little separation from them all. But I mean, thankfully I met you, and I'm sure we've got a bright future together, bro.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because I'm not sure if you guys are aware. He's dating my sister.
That's how we know each other.
and it's just a massive coincidence that two guys that are into the same thing happen to meet each other through that.
Yeah.
And it's like it's meant to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's meant to be. We're meant to do this, and I truly believe and feel that we can do some amazing things together.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, man.
More podcast content like this, and I mean, I hope you guys are enjoying it. I mean, we've gone pretty deep with this one.
Yeah.
But we're just gonna be covering a lot more general topics and stuff, and kind of giving you guys a perspective of our lives and trying to relate to you to ultimately better your life. This is a self-development podcast, and I'm very big on that. So. Do you want to end it off, or?
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me out on the podcast.
Yeah.
It's been an honor coming out and recording the video today, and getting to know you more.
It's been awesome,
on a deeper level. So I appreciate it. And thanks for having me out.
Good to meet you, man. And stay tuned for episode 3 of Hustlers Podcast. I'm not too sure what we're going to get into, but it will be up next week. So I'm trying to do weekly podcast. I'm really enjoying it. Hope you guys are getting a bit of understanding of my life. I'm going to have some more guests on and try and grow this podcast and build a strong community. So I hope you guys enjoy the podcast, and stay tuned for episode 3.